Part 75. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 769. Yuri Sakura, have you been expelled from Tokyo Spirit University? If you don't stay in school well, what are you doing here? Hu Jing-sang, have you done something bad? You were forced to stand at the door of the teacher's office. Look at you, there is sweat on your forehead and the makeup on your face is all stained. Hu Jing's expression changed subconsciously, and she quickly reached out to touch her forehead, but... What's the sweat? You lied to me. Really? Maybe I saw it wrong, Hu Jing sang, I'm reminding you to pay attention to your image. Lily Ying smiled slightly. Hu Jing saw Beihuing appearing here at this time, and it was still at the door of office 403 on the 4th floor. How could she not know that Beihuing was her future teaching assistant partner? But why is this person? Hu Jing had been waiting here since about 7:30 with a nervous mood. The longer she waited, the more nervous she became. After all, the person who came was Yang Yu. The trainer who left a deep impression on her mind in the national competition has now grown to the point where Hu Jing needs to look up to him and can become Yang Yu's assistant. After Hu Jing thought about it carefully later, this was a great opportunity for her. A great learning opportunity, but she never expected. You will meet Lily Sakura here. The world is so small, and it is also such a coincidence. Hu Jing met Lily Sakura for the first time at the World Masters on the World Center Island in her junior year, and even fought against her. I don't know why, but it's probably a woman's sixth sense and intuition, which suddenly came into play. Especially Lily Sakura's endless trash talk in the elf battle, even using Chinese language, which was more proficient than Hu Jing's. How could Hu Jing endure this? However, the best they can do is a tie. Now, Lily Sakura is more powerful, and none of Hu Jing's elves have the strength to reach the gym level. However, the other people who had the elf battle with Lily Ying did not have such trash talk, but they targeted Hu Jing. As a result, Hu Jing even read some Zhuan quotations during her senior year, just to talk to Lily Ying. It's just that since the sinking of the central island of the world, I haven't gone to further study. How did I know that I would meet Yuri Sakura at this time? It's true, I won't regret the book until I use it. Hu Jing sang, you have regressed a lot. It is no fun to fight with such an opponent. It is too childish. Lily Ying smiled and bowed. Hu Jing felt like her head was about to explode. Without the blessing of Zhuan's quotations, I can't compare to Lily Sakura. In fact, as long as you fly high enough in the air, no one will notice Yang Yu sitting on Mina's back. Among the office workers coming and going in Kyoto, there are naturally many people who use flying elves. Minas was very fast and could reach Yanjing Elf University from the outskirts of the city in about 10 minutes. However, Yang Yu's expression was very strange. Because he received the news temporarily, the school seemed to have specifically told Yang Yu to fly towards the Yanda campus in the direction of the Qingjing campus. Maybe this is the love and conflict between two top elf universities, right? However, Yang Yu naturally still had to do the tasks ordered by his superiors. In fact, Yang Yu's elf battle course is not a closed teaching, and regardless of whether they are registered students or not, whether they are trainer students from Yan University or Qingjing, they can actually come to attend the class. However, due to venue factors, only students in the course undergo practical training. When Yang Yu and his great beauty appeared in the low sky above Qingjing Elf University, they instantly attracted the attention of many students, teachers, and professors on the Qingjing campus. Minaz, is he here? It's Yanjing Elf University showing off its superiority again. What's so good about it? The person who spoke didn't even notice that his tone was so sour. I have to say, Minas is really beautiful. Ah, it's really great to be able to see Minas in my lifetime. I really want to know how he was bred. Minas, ugly fish, change it for me. Wow, it's Minas, Professor Yang Yu from Yanjing Elf University. He has a class this afternoon. Is there anyone who can organize a group to go to the Yanjing University campus? I'll go, count me in. There has actually been no barrier between the two neighboring elf universities for a long time. In terms of teaching resources, they all share what they need. But, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. In short, the relationship between the schools is very interesting. Like today, Yang Yu flew from the Qingjing Elf University campus to the Yanda campus, and someone might fly from the Yanda campus to the Qingjing Elf University campus one day, and it would be indecent to come and go. However, Yang Yu seemed to have seen a figure coming from the direction of Yanda. What the hell, senior brother Qian? What the hell, junior brother Han? The scene at this time seemed to instantly overlap with a certain picture in Yang Yu's memory. It was the scene of two golden retrievers holding a courier in their mouths looking at each other, as if. What a coincidence, are you also a tool dog? Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian never expected that they would meet in this way on campus. Ahem, junior brother Han, let me tell you first, have you received a similar mission? My notice is to summon the supergiant mantis from the Yanda campus all the way to the Qingjing campus. Wu Yuqian didn't mention much at this time. Embarrassed. Originally, this was something that was a bit embarrassing that I couldn't explain, but then I met Yang Yu again halfway, which was really embarrassing. Ahem, cough, me too, what a coincidence, Yang Yu couldn't help but cough. This feeling. They look like two tool men. I also specifically asked Zhang Kaichuan from Qingjing. We are not the only ones doing this. He said that this is an old tradition. This is a special tacit understanding between Yanjing Elf University and Qingjing Elf University. Wu Yuqian rolled his eyes. The two top universities are like two old children. Apart from their solemnity, they also have their own fun. Anyway, I'm fine, but it's just my hard work, brother Qian. The giant claw mantis and the supergiant claw mantis after Mega cannot fly. Yang Yu consoled him. Yes, it will take some time for the super eagle to happen. Now some international students in North America say that the Elf Alliance there has been investigating very closely recently. Astrid's disappearance, and King Dwight's condition, in short, it's not very peaceful over there. Isn't it true that Dwight was so cursed by Wan Kai's that he couldn't open his eyes? Yang Yu was shocked. Anyway, he hasn't woken up yet. It's probably because Astrid's disappearance has irritated him. His Twitter hasn't been updated for a long time. The last time he left for Sakura Country was the day he left for Sakura Country. Wu Yuqian shrugged. And then still couldn't help but complain, but Lao Wan still has a great mouth. Yang Yu nodded repeatedly. At this moment, the short conversation between Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian attracted a lot of people's attention. Many boys and girls took out their mobile phones to take pictures. Of course, they took this opportunity to take selfies and post them on their friends' circle. This is meanness. For boys, elves like the supergiant praying mantis are really, really cool. Mechas are the romance of men, but meanness. Well, meanness is also very fragrant. Senior brother Qian, we have to meet the assistant coach later. What about you, senior brother Qian, which two trainers did your assistant find? Yang Yu glanced around, there were more and more people, which was not good. Ha ha ha, junior brother Han, you will never guess who I am looking for, Wu Yuqian laughed, and before he finished speaking, a leisurely Baidiao flew in the sky, and then the Baidiao flew leisurely again. Return. Yes, it's almost 8 o'clock, but I'm not late. Hey, and Yang Yu, good morning. The extremely familiar voice made Wu Yuqian's smile suddenly freeze. Wan Kai's who, why don't you come early or late, but why are you here at this time? It's poisonous. Ha ha ha, Lao Wan, are you here to be my assistant coach for senior brother Qian? Yang Yu guessed it immediately. He turned to look at senior brother Qian and gave a thumbs up, Senior brother Qian is still very good. He came directly from the Demon City. Lao Wan was poached over there. I originally wanted you to guess and give you a surprise, but it seems that the surprise actually came out on its own. Wu Yuqian sighed helplessly. Senior brother Qian, Lao Wan, I'll go there first, there's my assistant waiting for me there. Yang Yu waved goodbye. Yang Yu, who are your assistants? Do I recognize them? Ha ha ha, senior brother Qian, guess what? Yang Yu was in a good mood. He had acquaintances in Kyoto, and they were old acquaintances, so he wouldn't feel too boring now. You two are really interesting. One comes from the Yanjing campus, and the other comes from Qingjing. By the way, who are Yang Yu's assistants? Wang Kai's, who was also a little curious. Wu Yuqian rolled his eyes. What do you think? If Yang Yu were to find a female assistant, wouldn't it be a disaster for the female assistant? But as for a male assistant, I think Lao Cai can do it. Besides, it's impossible to find a trainer from another country to find an assistant, right? Lily Sakura from Sakura country, Wang Kai's said casually. Wu Yuqian was stunned for a moment, then motioned to Wang Kai's to wait a moment. What's wrong? I'll send a message to Yang Yu and ask if there is Lily Ying. How is this possible? Wang Kai's himself was just talking nonsense. It was all guesswork anyway, so he just guessed the most unlikely option. Damn it, it's true. Lao Wan, you are still awesome. Wang Kai's looked at the mobile phone handed over by Wu Yuqian, looked at the screen, and his mind was filled with questions. Fourth floor, 403, the school is also interested in arranging such an office for me. Yang Yu felt a little moved. The more details he looked at, the more sincere he could feel the sincerity of Yanjing Elf University. Yang Yu saw two people standing there in the corridor. There should be a space where super elves could help isolate. Yang Yu couldn't hear what they were saying, but one of them seemed to be very excited. It's okay to be very emotional. This is the passion for work. That's it, full of energy. This one who is not excited, seems to be teaching this one who is excited how to adjust his mentality. After all, he doesn't need to be so nervous. Not bad, not bad. It seems that the two assistant teachers have already got to know each other and have reached a consensus. Yang Yu coughed lightly and walked up. Hu Jing sang, Professor Yang is here. Lily Ying smiled softly. Ah. When Hu Jing turned her head and saw Yang Yu's approaching figure, especially the smile, she subconsciously thought of the devil's smile in the meteor forest. Don't, come here. Yang Yu. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 770. Lily Sakura was stunned. I gave Hu Jing a silent thumbs up in my heart. At least the courage to say such words in front of Yang Yu is something Beihuing definitely does not possess. It seems that she has underestimated Hu Jing. Yang Yu really stopped in the corridor. Looking at Hu Jing's appearance, wouldn't she be thinking of last year's Chinese Valentine's Day Blackbird incident again? However, it seems that the national competition is about to start again recently, and it seems normal to express my feelings for a while. To commemorate the first anniversary of the birth of Kixie Blackbird? Student Hu Jing, can you calm down for a moment? We still need to arrange the teaching tasks for the afternoon. Yang Yu spread his hands innocently. At that time, as opponents, they were fighting for honor for themselves and the school from their own standpoints, so Yang Yu naturally had to go all out. It just seemed that the shot was a little heavier, which left a deep impression on the opponent. Yang Yu had no choice. After all, it was King Xianyu who did it. At that time, no one expected that the Kixie Bluebird would be blasted into a Kixie Blackbird as black as charcoal. After Hu Jing finished shouting, she felt a little regretful. Sorry. Okay, don't be so nervous or excited. By the way, come in with me. Yang Yu's office key was delivered to him during the previous few days of rest. After opening the door, the office was not particularly big, but it was also very bright. To be honest, Yang Yu is actually quite strange. After all, this is the office of the professor of the Elf Combat Department of Yanjing Elf University. It is very classy and very classy. Yang Yu's private position was inside, and the assistant's position was close to the door, facing each other, with a partition in the middle. Lily Ying raised her eyebrows at Hu Jing, and then sat on the left-hand side. The remaining assistant position was naturally given to Hu Jing. "Have you made any preparations before coming?" Yang Yu's tone was very serious now, and even had some momentum. Yang Yu cherishes that he can have such a bright office. This is what he has achieved step by step through his own efforts. Working at the Hangzhou Elf Trusteeship and Hangzhou Momo Ocean Park, the relatively difficult environment before has created Yang Yu now. This is work, and Yang Yu's attitude towards work is enthusiastic. After all, he has to be worthy of the salary. What's more, the salary of a professor in the Elf Combat Department is very high, and there is also a series of living allowances. "Lily Ying, you go ahead and say it," Yang Yu said. "I have prepared the money," Lily Sakura answered truthfully. "Hu Jing, you can have this. Money is a good thing, so be prepared first." The intensity of the elf battlefield here at Yanjing Elf University is comparable to that of the various gymnasiums. Some gym-level battles can be withstood. There is no need to worry about the cost of the venue. "We can talk about other costs later." Yang Yu's eyes lit up, his eyes full of affirmation of Lily Ying. This is really understanding what Yang Yu wants. Thumbs up for this teaching assistant. In fact, when you reach Hu Jing's level of strength, you can gradually accumulate some funds, but compared with Hu Jing's money, it is definitely incomparable. Hu Jing knew very well that Beihuing was supported by a family consortium. How could this be better than others? "Oops, I'm so angry." "Hu Jing, what about you?" Yang Yu continued to ask. "This is the class list I made, and each student's elf is recorded on it." After clicking on the student's photo above, you can see the strength of each elf, the moves he has mastered, and the shortcomings among them. Played. After Hu Jing took out her computer from her school bag, she opened a software she made and explained it to Professor Yang Yu and assistant teacher Bai Ying. She was a little nervous at first, but as she talked about the areas she was good at, she became more confident. Started talking more and more confidently. This wave of operations directly impressed Yang Yu and Lily Ying. This is a treasure found. There are some personal suggestions on this. Of course, I don't know how to arrange Professor Yang's teaching plan. I can continue to follow up later. After Hu Jing finished speaking, she glanced at the time and found that she had unknowingly spoken. For more than half an hour, this time, she was shocked. For a moment, his face started to turn red nervously again. Hu Jing sang, "I suddenly want to take you home." Lily Ying's eyes suddenly glowed with a green light like a hungry wolf, and she even wanted to reach out and pinch Hu Jing's face. The details of this are directly controlled to the extreme for every student's information. There are even videos of analyzing the elf battles to discover the shortcomings of the trainer elf. This is simply a humanoid computer. A natural researcher or a natural-born professor, especially a professor who analyzes elf battles. This is simply a national treasure-level talent. If it weren't for his weaker strength now, Yang Yu would feel that his position was a little unstable. "Lily Ying, pay attention to the occasion. I have to stay here forever," Hu Jing hid back. In terms of the path of a trainer, if she wants to be promoted higher, she needs to find a path of her own. During her 4 years in college, she did not settle down to do any research. Although her strength had reached the level of an elite trainer, Hu Jing was not happy. Now, Hu Jing feels that she has found her own source of happiness. Through data research and analysis, you can find the shortcomings of your own elves. At the same time, you need to take into account the factors of the elves themselves, because the elves and the moves they master are not a bunch of cold data. Elves are living elves, trainers, and living trainers. There are a series of reasons such as emotional outbursts and depth of bond between elves and trainers. Therefore, under the leadership of humans and elves, data analysis is only used as a supporting role to help the elves improve their strength. This is what Hu Jing feels like. Find the path that suits you best and is the right path. Take the Kixie Blackbird incident as an example. It is no accident that the Kixie Bluebird turned into a Kixie Blackbird after being hit by Dragon's Wrath. The Kixie Bluebird itself was restrained by Dragon-type moves, plus the high-temperature detonation effect of Wrath. After being hit by Dragon's Wrath, if the high temperature breaks through to a certain threshold, the Chinese Valentine's Day Bluebird will turn into a Chinese Valentine's Day Blackbird. This threshold will increase as the strength of the Kixie Bluebird increases, and will also be affected by the remaining physical strength of the Kixie Bluebird. In short, this is the answer that Hu Jing found in subsequent research. It's really awesome. Yang Yu really admired Hu Jing's hardcore ability, which even made Yang Yu feel a little embarrassed. After all, with this strength, the salary of the teaching assistant was obviously not enough. It seemed that he had to ask the principal for an increase in salary and bonus. In fact, bonuses are not necessarily the best, elf resources are the most important. Lily Ying contributed the money, Hu Jing contributed the effort, Yang Yu naturally has to be a coolie. He is the one who teaches the elves to fight. This is something that neither Lily Ying nor Hu Jing can replace. After all, the assistant coach cannot fight a class by himself, that is, 30 elite trainers, but Professor Yang Yu can. Yang Yu believed that if the 30 trainers in this class summoned all their elves, not many elves could withstand the thunder of Yang Yu's Salted Fish King. Except for some elves with power storage, lightning rods, or ground-type elves who can stand on the field, others will inevitably fall. He can't stop Dudu, even if he has evil moves, he can't stop him. If there is a joint defense, grass-type moves and electric-type moves will cause a little trouble for Big Beauty, but Big Beauty still has a chance to defeat them. Needless to say, Xiao Baobao's overconfidence characteristic is here. No one would want to try the extremely destructive feeling when Xiao Baobao's overconfidence is raised to the extreme. Well done. Since we are so well prepared, why don't we make a change and let students who are proficient in computers turn this information into a game? I currently teach 2 classes. The students in Class 1 are set up in a separate game area, such as playing the Charmander in Area 1, and the students in Class 2 are also individually playing the Fire Dinosaur in Area 2, such as in the 5 days from Monday to Friday. Here, only students in the same area can engage in elf battles, based on data simulation and 6v6 rules. The battle record is used as the basis for weekly assessment, and some rewards are determined based on the net win. The higher the ranking, the more generous the reward will naturally be. Playing games, Hu Jing subconsciously resisted. Professor Yang Yu's idea is really extraordinary, what a brilliant idea. In fact, there are such games in the elf world, but compared to raising elves in reality is more exciting. Integrating such a game into this training, plus the data analyzed by Hu Jing, and using computer means to create exclusive teaching games are very commendable in terms of fun and competitiveness. At least, Lily Sakura already has the idea of participating. Let's try it first to see if the effect can be incorporated into this training. We must pay attention to the fact that in the simulated battle, the trainer's emotion must also be taken into consideration. If the trainer's emotion can be sensed through the adjustment of the microphone, the output depends entirely on roaring. Yang Yu felt that something was wrong with what he was saying. Let's forget about the idea of sound and talk about it later. Real-life elf battles can't happen all the time. The elves also need to recover and rest, so during this period, we will move the offline real-life elf battles online. Use game simulation to help trainers train, Yang Yu felt that he had now come to his own field. Hu Jing talked for about half an hour earlier, and Yang Yu felt that he could talk all morning. In short, take your time step by step. Just use the power of the moves and the possible hit probability directly from the Elf Alliance, and then control the attributes. These are very simple. The actual improvement of the elf strength can be simultaneously transformed into the game. The simulation data can be updated in real time, and we are currently focusing on the 60 students in Class 1 and Class 2, so this can still be achieved. At this moment, Hu Jing and Lily Ying, two talented female trainers, seemed to have turned into ordinary students. They listened carefully to Yang Yu's every word and took notes at the same time. Seeing Yang Yu pointing Zhongshan like this, Lily Ying felt even more admiration in her heart, and even felt her heart trembling. What does it feel like? Lily Ying felt that only Yang Yu was left in her eyes. Worship, probably only Yang Yu, could analyze and arrange such a big plan bit by bit. Even, it was as if he had already planned it in his mind without any drafts at all. Yang Yajun, even if he has seen it so close, he is even more mysterious than in Lily Ying's previous impression. Hu Jing is even more so. She had never admired such a person. Even at the beginning, she was skeptical about Yang Yu coming to Yanjing Elf University to teach as a professor of the Elf Combat Department. Because guiding the battle between elves not only depends on Yang Yu's strength, but also Yang Yu's teaching level. Now, Hu Jing only has recognition in her heart. She now realizes that she regretted being selected as a teaching assistant at the beginning, but now she begins to feel lucky. Fortunately, Tang Xiaoling forced her to sign up. If it weren't for Tang Xiaoling, Hu Jing might have missed this extremely important opportunity. In this way, Hu Jing will even regret it for the rest of her life. This teaching assistant really smells good. Yang Yu felt a little relieved after looking at the expressions on the faces of the two female assistants. He is sharing a lifetime of Pokemon gaming experience in his memory. It seems that what I said is pretty good. Yang Yajun, don't stop, continue. Yang Yu. I have been talking for so long, and no one even offers me a glass of water. Am I the professor or are you the professors? Oh, woman. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 771. Yang Yu carefully read the records in the hands of Hu Jing and Lily Ying. In fact, Yang Yu could talk about these things for a long time, but he had to eat one bite at a time. The general framework should be constructed first, and then only the information and data would be added to it. That's it? Yang Yu planned to let Reggie Locke do this teaching game. Since this guy played games in his spare time, he might as well let him develop such a game. Just report it to the Elf Alliance when the time comes. During the first meal, Hu Jing treated her to a treat. Who asked her to shout so loudly? One code equals one code, doesn't Yang Yu want to lose face? Of course, for the excellent performance of the two assistant coaches Hu Jing and Lily Ying, Yang Yu decided to reward them with 2 candies each, double the amount on the first day. Mini Dragon has now successfully mastered 100,000 volts, and the consumption of electromagnetic popping candies can be said to be greatly reduced. If Mini Dragon eats one less meal, I don't know how many elf resources can be saved, but Yang Yu still gives Mini Dragon full of nutrients. If it were in the past, Yang Yu would definitely not be able to do this. Now that the conditions are better, there is no need to save on the food cultivated by the elves. Especially for this Mini Dragon. The more you eat, the more powerful you become. Professor Yang, what is this? It looks so beautiful. Beihuing looked at the electromagnetic popping candy packaged in a transparent plastic shell and twisted it with her index finger and thumb. Her eyes seemed to reflect the golden light that shone on the candy from time to time. Under the beautiful appearance, no one knows if there is any danger hidden. Hu Jing glanced in Lily Ying's direction. Thank you for the compliment. But Hu Jing sang, if you don't want it, you can give it to me. Bei Huing took the initiative to reach for it, her smiling eyes full of teasing. What a beautiful idea, Hu Jing directly protected the two candies like a calf. Hu Jing sang, your body is very honest. Lily Ying smiled softly, and then put the candy in her hand into her mouth. The dessert after the meal has a very rich cream taste. Thank you, Hu Jing sang for the lunch treat. Wait a moment. The sudden sound made Lily Sakura so frightened that she swallowed the electromagnetic popping candy directly into her stomach. Yang Yu. Lily Sakura. Could it be that this candy is inedible? Hu Jing was even more frightened and put the candy on the table. Did you eat it? Yang Yu was dumbfounded. He hadn't even mentioned the effects of electromagnetic popping candy and how to obtain this elf resource from him in the future. Lily Ying ate it directly. Lily Sakura blinked and nodded repeatedly. This is an elf resource for elves to sense electric power and assist in learning electric moves. Before I even had time to tell you about its effect, you two started bickering. Why did you just eat it? Sensing electric power and assisting in learning electric moves? In an instant, Hu Jing and Lily Ying's hearts skipped a beat. Bei Huing didn't even pay attention to the electromagnetic popping candy she just ate, and her eyes were directly fixed on the candy Hu Jing just put on the table. What does it mean if Professor Yang Yu didn't lie to them about the electromagnetic popping candy with such an effect? This means this is a brand new elf resource in the elf world, and only Professor Yang Yu has it. When an elf learns non-attribute moves, the most difficult thing is in the beginning. This is very clear to every trainer. It is like just stepping into a brand new field, and the elf needs to constantly explore in the beginning. Some elves even cannot master the most basic moves after learning them for a long time. Now, if such candy can help elves realize the power of electricity and learn electric moves, this would definitely be big news in the world of elf cultivation. Is it necessary for Yang Yu to lie to them? There is no need at all. Yang Yu's current status and reputation in the Elf Alliance does not require deception at all, which means, this is true. At the same time, the electromagnetic popping candy that was eaten into Lily Sakura's belly, was equivalent to being wasted in a daze. Mine, this is mine. Hu Jing, the moment you threw them directly on the table, did you ever think about how they felt? Lyuri Sakura, don't go too far, I'm just letting it go. Nonsense, you are obviously afraid that there will be something wrong with the candy. Now that you have done this, you must be responsible for what you have done. I'm not, I didn't, don't talk nonsense, Hu Jing retorted with a blush on her face. Although she also knew that she had thought so just now, but, no matter what, Hu is not really weird. What a precious reward this is. Hu Jing secretly hated herself for putting those two candies on the table before. Put them in her pocket earlier, oh no, give them to the elf earlier. This is the safest choice. Bei Huing was even more angry. If Hu Jing hadn't interrupted in front of her, causing Bei Huing to subconsciously think that this was a delicious candy snack, she would have eaten one directly. Such precious elf resources, the elf resources used to help my elf master the power of electricity, were wasted by me like this. It is simply unforgivable. Lily Sakura subconsciously smacked her mouth, this rush of creamy fragrance. Let me tell you, this candy is really fragrant. What does it mean to spit out fragrance? This is the real fragrance in your mouth. Every word Lily Sakura says tastes like fresh cream. Yang Yu breathed a sigh of relief and felt a little lucky. Fortunately, the candy prepared at the beginning was the kind that Tajipai eats. The electric power contained in it is very weak, unlike the kind that the mini dragon eats. The electric power in the mini dragon is already stronger than the one eaten by the mini dragon. It started to get a lot bigger. But you two, after all, are both students at the world's top elf university. Can you sit down and talk about it slowly? Why are you quarreling like children? He must have been too full at lunch, otherwise he wouldn't be so free and would not even have the energy to quarrel. The little dream demon was on the side, eating her own candy and cheering for Hu Jing and Lily Ying. It's not a big deal at all. This is like the grimace PK between the little dream monster and the cursed doll. Anyway, just watch the show from the side and that's it. Yang Yu glanced at the time. It was almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The 7th, 8th, and 9th classes are from 2:10 in the afternoon to 4:45 in the afternoon. There is no need to rest in the middle. The elf battle class itself is very free, but you will still feel very tired during the training. Come out, stay, we're getting ready to go to class. Yeah. Dede is already prepared. He also has experience as a teacher. However, Dede's student Xiao Tian seems to have no idea about the power of the superpower system, but it does not prevent Dede from being a good master. In the end, Bei Huing was still unable to snatch the 2 candies from Hu Jing's hands. When she saw Yang Yu getting ready to set off, she immediately straightened her messy hair and felt calm at the same time. In an instant, she changed from a noisy look to an elegant and humble female assistant. Hu Jing. How could this Hu Jing be better than Lily Ying? However, Hu Jing hugged her computer and covered her face, letting the coldness of the computer case cool down her red face. It's a pity that it's not like before. After having the elves, the strength has improved, which is convenient, but it is also easier to find people to quarrel with. Similarly, it is not convenient to adjust one's emotions. It took almost a blink of an eye to go from the office to the arena. After arriving, Hu Jing's face was still bright red. In contrast, Lily Ying looked extremely natural. Even when she walked, she was very elegant. But what is even more eye-catching is Yang Yu's meanness. After arriving at the arena, Yang Yu got off De Mei's back and walked to the arena area where he had classes. De Mei followed slowly behind, and the unique Dede with the golden conch cap gave Yang Yu enough momentum. Professor Yang. Professor Yang. There are already many people here waiting for Yang Yu's arrival. Even though they are not students in Yang Yu's class, they still come. Some even come from the Qingjing campus next door, just to watch Yang Yu's class. More importantly, it's time to look at Yang Yu's elf. Whether it's the all-powerful Scarlet Gyarados that defeated the king-level dragon in the secret realm of Mount Fuji, or the noble, elegant, and unparalleled charm of Minas, or the sage Slow King of the Sea. This can attract talented students from these top universities. Hello everyone. Yang Yu also responded with a smile. Yi. Yeah. Who doesn't want to be welcomed warmly? Great beauty is no exception. However, just follow Yang Yu with peace of mind. In the arena, there are already students waiting here in advance. Yang Yu looked for a moment and felt happy. He saw the trainer named Cai Xuanyi. Speaking of which, Cai Xuanyi was also an important factor in Yang Yu's choice of school. After all, Cai Xuanyi's elf Ryalu was the absolute first choice for those who could possess the power of wave guides and were easy to have sex for free. At this time, Cai Xuanyi, who saw Yang Yu's gaze and looked at the old father-like smile, shivered. This feeling, it seems, a little panicked. Fortunately, everyone seemed to have taken a look at Yang Yu, otherwise Cai Xuanyi would have thought that he would be taken care of. Wait, those 2 assistant coaches around Yang Yu. Why does it look so familiar? Cai Xuanyi rubbed his eyes. What the hell, Hu Jing, Lily Ying? Why are you 2 together? Cai Xuanyi almost dropped his eyes in shock. He is one of the few people who knows about the grudge between Hu Jing and Lily Ying. This meeting will definitely be like lighting a powder keg that will explode. How come? Cai Xuanyi's eyes inevitably fell on Yang Yu. A feeling of admiration arose spontaneously, and there was even unspeakable envy. Professor Yang Yu is still awesome. What kind of person is Lily Sakura? Because they are the same age and Beihwing is famous in the world, Cai Xuanyi has naturally done a lot of homework on these opponents of the same age. No matter how you describe it, she is a proud person. Being able to make Lily Ying work tirelessly from the cherry blossom country to the Chinese country as an assistant teacher. Could it be that this is love? Yang Yu was keenly aware of Cai Xuanyi's envious look on his face, and thought to himself, it seems that this classmate Cai really needs to be taken care of. It's time to show off your real skills. The first lesson is to let your students know what it means to be convinced. Students, get ready for class. Yang Yu's eyes narrowed and his voice was solemn. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 772. Everyone is welcome to join my class. You should all know my name. My name is Yang Yu. In class, we treat each other as teachers and students. Outside of class, I hope we can become friends. First of all, I would like to introduce two teaching assistants to you graduate students at Yanjing Elf University. One is a trainer from Tokyo Elf University, Lily Sakura, and the other is a trainer from our graduate school at Yanjing Elf University, Hu Jing. Welcome everyone, applause. Let's make a long story short. Let me call everyone by name first. I have already counted the number of people, and there are actually 31 people. Could you please ask that classmate Chiumenki to calm down his various monsters? Let me get to know you first. After the whole audience was quiet for a while, they suddenly burst into laughter. Because the variety monster turned out to be none other than the fake Yang Yu. One of the girls waved, causing the variety monster next to her to change from the appearance of Yang Yu back to the appearance of an elf. Soon, a lavender group of elves that looked like plasticine appeared. Yang Yu secretly nodded. The variety monster is also a rare elf, and it is also one of the elves controlled by the Elf Alliance. After all, the variety monster can transform into any elf or human form. If it is used to do bad things, it will sometimes harm the elves. Unpredictable harm to society. Obviously, this Chiumenki is not an ordinary graduate student, and has a very deep family background. Okay, Chiumenki, I know you. When Yang Yu said this, Hu Jing and Lily Ying beside him almost trembled slightly at the same time, but Hu Jing's eyes were more filled with palpitations, while Lily Ying was looking forward to it. Beihwing once studied Yang Yu carefully. The opponents Yang Yu encountered along the way as a trainer, which is the information currently known in Beihwing's hands. Basically, there is no female trainer who doesn't cry. When she thought of this, Lily Sakura's mind went blank for a moment, and she clenched her fists subconsciously. Because she ignored someone. It seems, his sister Lily Kinzi also cried in front of Yang Yu, although the final ending turned into laughter. Kinzi was very sad at the beginning. What should I do? It seems I can't beat him. Yang Yu naturally didn't know what Hu Jing and Lily Ying were thinking. According to their student numbers, Yang Yu met with each of his classmates one by one. Although he couldn't remember so many people at first, he would definitely remember them later. After all, Professor Yang Yu controls thunder and lightning here. Everyone is here, so let's do the simplest first task now, the first class. I have to see everyone's elf strength. The easiest way is to fight against elf. There was no surprise among the 30 students in the audience. The purpose of the elf battle course itself is to practice actual elf battles. In addition, in the first class, every professor will have a requirement to explore the student's basic strength. However, there are a large number of elves. If it is 6v6, it is likely that the get out of class will be over after just a few games. Of course, this is just what students subconsciously take for granted. Yang Yu came here to teach, not to bully the children. Otherwise, the test would not require a single lesson and he would just tell the truth in one move, but that would lose the meaning of the test. Chiumenki, let's start with you. By the way, the two assistant coaches, go and inform the managers of the arena here that our mission requires data recording and analysis of metagross. When Hu Jing turned around, she closed her eyes and mourned for Chiumenki in her heart. Hu Jing had faced Yang Yu directly. During the national competition, Yang Yu was already terrifyingly strong, let alone now. I can only hope that, Professor Yang Yu will be gentler. But Lily Ying is not like this. Now she can't wait to see Yang Yu's classmate Chiumenki being ravaged in the elf battlefield. That variety monster actually dares to change into the appearance of Professor Yang Yu. For Lily Ying, it is impossible. Tolerate. Professor Yang Yu, you must be ruthless and vigorous. Within a minute, Yang Yu saw the figure of Metagross flying in the air under the magnetic effect. When it landed on the ground, it did not make a particularly harsh sound. It was obvious that Metagross had accurately calculated its landing situation, reducing the sound to a minimum. Metagross is a huge mechanical life form, consisting of two metal monsters. It has 4 thick and powerful arms that can walk alternately on the ground. There is a huge X-shaped silver metal cross on its face. This is the foundation of the top elf university. During the elf battle, Metagross will save the battle video, analyze and record it, and provide data to the professor of the elf battle department. Regirock's intelligent core can also do this job, but with the presence of Metagross, Regirock's intelligent core under the dumb hat can have a PK with Metagross without being discovered by others. The Metagross in the arena quickly took its place, and Yang Yu signaled that Chiumenki was ready to play. The trainers who came to watch from outside the circle area became excited. What are they here for? Of course, I got to watch Professor Yang Yu's elf battle up close and personal. Because in the elf battle, Professor Yang Yu will send out his own elf, so this time, who will he send? Should we just let the Scarlet Gyarados shock the entire audience, or should we let the charm of Minas enchant the whole audience? No matter which elf is sent out, it is worth looking forward to. Chiumenki was not nervous. She was very relaxed when she came up. Professor Yang, please be merciful. Chiumenki knows how much she weighs, but this is a teaching task for elf battle, all to improve her level. She will definitely lose, but she will do her best to have a beautiful duel. The variety monster took 2 steps forward. There was no doubt that this was Chiumenki's starting elf. Being able to let the variety monster see Minas with his own eyes, signing up for this course is definitely a huge profit. Although Chiumenki doesn't have Minas, but she can make variety monster change. Although the transformation is flawed, Chiumenki has plenty of time. This semester has just begun. Mum. When the elf in Yang Yu's elf ball appeared in the venue, everyone was immediately confused. Mini Dragon? Professor Yang Yu didn't let Gyarados play, didn't let Slowking play, let alone Minas, let a mini dragon. What does this mean? If it is Hakran, there will be no problem in this strength test, because Hakran's strength can definitely have a place among the elite level elves, and it is a very good choice for testing. But this is a mini dragon. The strength of this mini dragon is still at the level of a high level elf, even if the opponent's elf is the first elf and a variety of monsters. Is it because of this that Professor Yang Yu got the mini dragon? For a moment, uproar echoed in the arena. Just because the opponent's first elf was a variety monster, Professor Yang Yu only allowed a high-level mini-dragon to play? Don't talk about elves with advanced strength. Everyone present is a trainer with elite-level strength per capita. Although there are strong and weak elite training families, at least they still have this name. Huh. Hu Jing breathed a sigh of relief, but Chiumenki felt a pinch in her heart. She was really afraid that Yang Yu would accidentally summon the Gyarados. Regardless of whether it was the big one or the smaller one, they would all be very unfriendly to Chiumenki. Hu Jing even felt deeply guilty. After all, she still had too many prejudices against Yang Yu, which led to her mistakes in judgment. It's really inappropriate. Hu Jing looked at Yang Yu's back. Suddenly, she even looked a little dazed. It seemed that she was going to treat her to dinner. On the contrary, Lily Ying's thoughts are completely different from those of Hu Jing and others around her. The appearance of the mini-dragon really surprised her, but when Lily Sakura thought about it carefully, something was wrong. Just like the two electromagnetic popping candies that Professor Yang Yu took out before. At first, no one knew how precious it was. Even Lily Sakura misjudged it. You know, among the families in Sakura country, Lily Sakura's vision was praised by even the contemporary family members. When Yang Yu participated in the national competition in his first year, he noticed Yang Yu, a young trainer. Lily Sakura actually misjudged it and thought it was just an ordinary candy dessert. She even wasted a precious elf resource because of her carelessness. After this incident, a warning bell sounded in Lily Sakura's mind. Anything that happens to Professor Yang Yu cannot be judged by common sense, including the silly-looking mini-dragon in front of him, which is even drooling from the corner of his mouth. Although I don't know what secrets Professor Yang Yu hides, the more people underestimate mini-dragons, the easier it is to suffer. Professor Yang Yu's elves, are we ordinary trainers that can guess? Lily Ying looked at it. Looking at the trainers around him who were all relaxed and even discussing, he sneered in his heart, and then his eyes fell on the figure in front of him with even more admiration. Professor Yang, just, let me hit your mini-dragon. Qiu Menqi was extremely surprised. Could it be that, Professor Yang was merciful and gave her a consolation prize? Of course, this is the first threshold of the test. If you give it a simple difficulty, it will gradually become more difficult later. Yang Yu still had an extremely kind smile on his face. In my first class, of course, I need to establish my authority, that is, to give the students authority. Of course Yang Yu can let Salted Fish King, Xiao Bao Bao, De Melee and De Dai play, but it's not necessary. This opportunity should be left to the mini-dragon and the little dream demon. The first thing to note in elf battles is never to underestimate any opponent. Even if the opponent's elf is already exhausted. The game is not over yet, anything can happen. Not to mention now, the game hasn't even started yet. Mini-dragon, get up. If you defeat an elf, you will be given 1 candy. If you defeat 6 elves in a row, you will be given 10 candies. Omega. Me. 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 The mini-dragon's eyes instantly lit up like stars, and he was suddenly more awake than anyone else. He even began to calculate in his mind how much 1 plus 1 equals. Some students around him were confused. What sugar? Defeat 1 elf with 1 candy, defeat 6 elves with 10 candies. Lily Sakura's breathing suddenly became rapid. Professor Yang Yu, don't let the mini-dragon take over, just let me be the mini-dragon. Yang Yu grinned as he looked at the fighting spirit inspired by the mini-dragon. The food reaches the stomach, and the elites are useless. Does it really look like my mini-dragon, a gift from the community? The battle is about to begin. Pokémon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 773. Change Monster, Transform. This is the only move that the variety monster can master, but this move is currently the only known elf in the elf world that can use transformation moves. Precisely because of the special ability of the variety monster, trainers who own the variety monster have an important status in the elf alliance. However, Yang Yu knew in his memory that there was another elf who also had such an ability, but there is currently no record of it in the elf world. It was the elf Mian Meng who pretended to be the photographer Feng Wang. In contrast, the transformation of the variety monster requires training again and again. If it's a dream, well, you can change whatever you want, even the mythical beast Phoenix King can change, and it's even easier to change anything else. At this time, Qiu Menqi's variety monster has transformed into a mini-dragon. Compared with Minas, the smaller mini-dragon is obviously easier to transform. Poppy. The two elves, Little Dream Demon and Tijipai, were a little stunned. This was the first time they had seen such a magical elf that could transform into another elf. In fact, the Little Dream monster can also do it in dreams, but it doesn't look like the variety monster. The mini-dragon quickly shook his head when he saw that his opponent had actually transformed into himself again. That. Are you a mini-dragon too? If someone else's elves were to face the variety monster, they would definitely be stunned for a while because of the variety monster's transformation. By the time they woke up, the battle situation would already be very unfavorable. This is also a natural advantage in elf battles. Use the effect of the variety monster's transformation to put the opponent's elf into a state of confusion and doubt for a short time, catching the opponent off guard. Chiumenki has tried this trick repeatedly. But in front of the mini-dragon, it seems that this confusing effect has no effect. For the mini-dragon, in addition to eating, in other aspects, the IQ is obviously a bit weak. It does not understand how the opponent suddenly changed from a pile of sticky things to look like itself, but it doesn't matter. Just defeat the mini-dragon. This will not affect the mini-dragon's ability to earn snacks. Mini-dragon, Dragon's Wrath. The elf attributes of the variety monster will change with the transformation. Although the disadvantage is that the life force of the variety monster cannot become as powerful as other elves, but the opponent is just a mini-dragon. How much stronger can a mini-dragon with only the strength of a high-level elf be? Chiumenki had already prepared her ever-changing mini-dragon and killed Professor Yang Yu's mini-dragon instantly with one move of Dragon's Wrath. However, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Nothing happened. Variety mini-dragon? Chiumenki? What the hell is Dragon's Wrath? Do I know this trick? The ever-changing mini-dragon looked confused. The scene instantly became awkward. Because, nothing happened. Dragon's Wrath, the move Dragon's Wrath, Chiumenki started to stare anxiously. What the hell is her ever-changing mini-dragon? Can't you understand what she is saying anymore? The Wrath of the Dragon. The ever-changing mini-dragon tilted its head, with big doubts in its small eyes. The variety monster can indeed copy the moves of the opponent's elf, but there is a prerequisite, that is, the opponent's elf must know this move. Even the mini-dragon doesn't know this move, so how can the variety monster copy it successfully? No matter how Chiumenki screams, it's impossible for the variety monster to use it. Wait a minute, does Professor Yang Yu's mini-dragon do not know the Dragon's Wrath? Then is this still a dragon? Chiumenki knew that there was only one reason for this phenomenon, and that was Professor Yang Yu's mini-dragon in front of her, don't know Dragon's Wrath. Similarly, the trainers around them also thought of this answer at about the same time. They are all elves with advanced strength, and they don't even know Dragon's Wrath? What kind of dragon do you think you are? Mini-dragon, just quit the group. Yang Yu listened to the analyzed voices around him and coughed lightly. The mini-dragon didn't know Dragon's Wrath. Yang Yu was also helpless. The mini-dragon ate and ate and ate every day, but he forgot the moves of this type. After learning it, I learned a lot of moves with other attributes. However, the use of Dragon's Wrath requires the mobilization of the power of anger. The mini-dragon's anger, well, Yang Yu looked at the naive look of the mini-dragon and felt that something was wrong with him. Did he feed the mini-dragon too much? Already? What other moves can the mini-dragon do? Stare, Chiumenki felt that it was no longer the elf glaring with moves, but she was already staring with two big eyes. The variety mini-dragon said it knew how to do this, and quickly glared in the direction of Yang Yu's mini-dragon. End it, mini-dragon, freeze ray. Yang Yu sighed leisurely. Elves like variety monster are indeed magical, but sorry, Yang Yu himself is the creator of miracles. When the four words freezing light appeared in the venue very clearly from Yang Yu's mouth, all the students from Yanjing Elf University in the venue, and even the students who came from Qingjing Elf University, thought in their minds among them, the three words impossible appeared almost at the same time. But when they saw an extremely bright light blue ball appear in the mouth of the mini-dragon on Yang Yu's side, everyone shuddered, and those trainers who were about to shout out "This is impossible," swallowed the words abruptly. As for those who have already shouted out, especially Chiumenki in the venue, "This is impossible, this is impossible, how can a mini-dragon master a move like freezing light? It is a mini-dragon, but a dragon-type elf." When that extremely cold beam of light bombarded the Variety mini-dragon, the Variety mini-dragon had no ability to dodge and was completely frozen in an instant. The transformation from normal attributes into dragon attributes accelerated the defeat of the ever-changing mini-dragon. Don't forget, in this mini-dragon's exclusive freezing light, there is a faint fairy aura. Mini-dragon, freeze yourself by yourself, don't say whether you dare to freeze it, what's the matter if you freeze it? Defeat the enemy with one move. Me. A piece of candy, got it? The mini-dragon excitedly spun around in circles, while not forgetting to flick its tail in the direction of Chiumenki. Please, the next candy. At this moment, looking at the ever-changing mini-dragon that was frozen, there was an instant silence in the venue. The expression on Hu Jing's face, besides being dumbfounded, there was also a fear of being dominated, in her eyes. Hu Jing was wrong, Hu Jing was wrong again. How could she be so naive to think that Yang Yu was no longer the devil in the meteor forest? How could he change? At this time, Yang Yu looked at the battlefield in front of him calmly. This silhouette made Hu Jing's heart shrink in fear again, but there was still another thought in Hu Jing's subconscious. This is a high-level elf-level mini-dragon. How did Yang Yu do it? For a moment, this idea seemed to have an extremely huge attraction, deeply attracting Hu Jing. This extremely contradictory and tangled feeling. Make her want to be quiet. I know it, Professor Yang Yu's mini-dragon must not be viewed with common sense. He is the creator of miracles. He has been creating miracles in the elf world. She felt that leaving Tokyo Spirit University and coming to China to work as a teaching assistant for Professor Yang Yu was the most correct decision she had ever made in her life. Professor Tetsuya Koike is indeed a teacher who has helped Yuri Sakura a lot, but Yuri Sakura feels that if she wants to take a broader and further path as a trainer, she has to take a gamble. Fortunately, Lily Sakura felt that she made the right bet. Follow the miracle worker, and watch his back climb to the top of the mountain from a distance. This is a height that even Professor Koike Tetsuya cannot reach. If Professor Yang Yu's mini-dragon has mastered the freezing light, then it is very likely that he has also mastered the jet flame and 100,000 volts. Is he God? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Shao. Chapter 774. Click. Metagross recorded the first video of the battle between elves, and at the same time analyzed the impact power of the mini-dragon freezing beam move, and recorded it in his database together with the defeated variety monster. Chiumenki still felt a little unreal. But the sight of the variety monster returning to its original shape and being frozen in an icicle really happened right in front of him. In fact, when Yang Yu showed the three major moves of the mini-dragon to Brother Xia, the dragon messenger, Xia's Hepeng's heart also aroused turbulent waves, not to mention Xia Yuyu who was with him. If it were not for her father Xia's Hepeng by her side, Xia Yuyu's situation would not be much better than Chiumenki's, and she might even be hit even harder. Freezing light, a professor who can control the freezing light with many dragons is the kind of professor I want to find. Chiumenki was shocked and quickly woke up from it. The opponent at this time was the professor of his elf combat course. Isn't it normal that I lost to him? Chiumenki knew very well that she was 3 or 4 years older than the professor in front of her, but, no matter how old she was, Chiumenki was still a student, and her opponent was a professor. After thinking about this clearly, Chiumenki felt much better and even began to look forward to it. Isn't this what she wants, to be mentored by such a powerful professor? It's just, I still feel so uncomfortable. Go ahead, big-mouthed kid. A black and yellow doll-like elf appeared in the field, but there was a big black mouth with extremely sharp teeth behind its head. It was an elf with dual attributes of steel and fairy. This is the elf that Chiumenki brought back from the fairy forest, the exclusive secret realm of Yanjing Elf University. Facing the freezing light, it is not weak at all. More importantly, Big Mouth Baby has the fairy attributes that can restrain dragon-type elves, and the fairy-type moves he masters are enough to make a mini dragon drink a pot. Big Mouth Boy, Fairy Wind, having fun. This is a powerful fairy-type move mastered by Big Mouth Baby. As long as he plays with the mini dragon and causes attacks during it, he can directly defeat the mini dragon. Of course, Chiumenki will not forget Big Mouth Baby's best combo, Fairy Wind, taking the lead in erosion. The Big Mouth Baby stepped on his fast steps and rushed towards the mini dragon. The aura of the fairy attribute, along with the waves of Fairy Wind, lingers around the Big Mouth Baby, and he is about to prepare for a close combat. It doesn't matter even if it is hit by the freezing ray. With Big Mouth Baby's steel attribute resistance and the weakening of the Fairy Wind in front, Big Mouth Baby is enough to break the ice directly. Big Mouth Baby, run, charge up. The speed of the Big Mouth Kid is a bit of a drag on the attacking rhythm. Hu Jing, remember to record it for me. I need to help Chiumenki's Big Mouth Kid improve this. Hu Jing quickly realized, oh. Okay. But just when Hu Jing picked up the pen to record, she heard 4 more words that made her raise her head suddenly and shrink her pupils. The speed is too slow. Are you waiting to be sprayed by fire? Yang Yu shook his head slightly, and then still gave the order easily in a calm tone, Mini Dragon, spray flames. Chiumenki. Professor Yang, don't show mercy. In the battlefield itself, these students have not yet completely recovered from the mini dragon's freezing light move, which has obviously violated the most basic knowledge they learned in high school. Mini dragons cannot learn to freeze light. At that time, during the college entrance examination, papers in many places had more or less such a scoring question, but I never expected that. From today, the score questions for the college entrance examination have become the proposition questions for the college entrance examination. The problem now is not just about the freezing light, especially, the jet flame, is coming too. The pillar of fire instantly ignited in the mini dragon's mouth, and the moment it bombarded the Big Mouth Baby, the mouth on the Big Mouth Baby's head became even bigger. The Big Mouth Boy is about to bully the mini dragon. Who is bullying whom? The mini dragon is bullying the fairies. This is the most fatal shortcoming of Big Mouth Baby, and it is also the shortcoming of many steel elves. Big Mouth Baby's movement speed is too monotonous. Within this distance, the mini dragon can defeat Big Mouth with just one move by spraying flames. But Big Mouth Baby can't even touch the mini dragon. This is the tragedy of melee fighters. In front of the mini dragon of Fa Yes Fort, which is more powerful than Big Mouth Baby, he can't hold it back at all. Even the mini dragon is not using its full strength. After all, the mini dragon's speed advantage in mastering the dance of the dragon has not yet been used. When the time comes, the mini dragon, which can run fast and use powerful long-range attacks, will let the opponent survive. To bully a slow elf like Big Mouth Baby, it is indeed enough to keep a safe distance so that Big Mouth Baby cannot hit him. As for the Fairy Wind, Fairy-type moves have a natural disadvantage when fighting against Fire-type moves. Although the fire-type attributes do not restrain the fairy-type attributes, the fire-type attributes have the ability to resist the fairy-type attributes. Not to mention, the flames sprayed by the mini-dragon are much more powerful than the fairy wind. Me. Another candy comes in. If you hit 4 more mini-dragons, you can get 10 candies at once. Equivalent to defeating the last of the 6 elves, the mini-dragon can get 5 candies at once. When it comes to how much candy he can eat, the mini-dragon's IQ can reach max in an instant. Beautiful flowers, dancing petals. Spray flames. Chiumenki was about to vomit. I have fought so many elf battles, especially after reaching the elite trainer level, but I have never been beaten like this by a mini-dragon that was still in its original form. Is this still a mini-dragon? This is clearly the Harker dragon wearing a mini-dragon skin. Who is the real evolutionary type? Chiumenki remembered Hangzhong Elf University, where Dragon Messenger's daughter was studying. Recently, she took a look at some news about the national competition. Even her hack dragon had not yet mastered moves like Freezing Ray. As the battle between elves passed round after round, Chiumenki discovered that she had sent out 5 elves. Who would have thought that these 5 elves would all fall to the moves of a mini-dragon? What the hell? Is this mini-dragon finished? How come it still has the strength to spray flames? Even though she knew that this was Professor Yang's test, Chiumenki still couldn't accept such a result. Because Professor Yang said, this is an easy test. Even Chiumenki couldn't pass the easy difficulty level. No matter what, she didn't want to be hit like this. It doesn't matter if you lose 1 or 2 rounds, but this leaves the last elf that can play, and the other 5 elf have all lost their combat effectiveness. Am I going to be pushed by a mini-dragon? Freezing beam, flame spray, powerful moves, and 100,000 volts is missing. Please, don't use 100,000 volts. Go ahead, Gem Starfish. Good fight. Yang Yu smiled softly, and then said in a deep voice, sorry. In the venue, the mini-dragon's body shines with an extremely bright golden light. This is 100,000 volts. Mum. 10 sweets, your master mini-dragon is here. Mini-dragon, Omega. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Shao. Chapter 775. This is the 6th elf and the most valuable one. The mini-dragons are clearly numbered. The 5 elves in front are only worth 5 candies in total. The last gem starfish is worth as much as the 5 in front. Isn't this mini-dragon using 100,000 volts more vigorously? Electricity. 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 Freezing light, jet flames, 100,000 volts, what kind of monster mini-dragon is this? How did Professor Yang Yu cultivate it? There seems to be no breeder in this country who can achieve this level, right? He learned these 3 major moves when he was a mini-dragon. This is too scary. Professor Yang is awesome. This, can you apply to the school to expand the class? My grade point in the elf battle course is too low. Teacher, I want to retake it. Go away, you are the only one among the 4 people with a GPA of 4.0 last year, and you actually want to retake it? How can I, a person with a GPA of only 3.98, survive? Shut up, you two. There are not a few people who have come up with this idea, but the reality is cruel. The course of elf battle cannot apply for class expansion like other courses. The course itself is already very busy for the professor. There is a class once a week, each class lasts almost 2.5 hours, and 30 students have to be taken care of. Arrived, so there is no way to expand the curriculum. If the number of students is expanded, who can enter and who cannot enter? Why does this person become a new student in the class, but not me? There is no way for the school to satisfy so many people at the same time. This rule is a rule. If you must take the elf battle class, you can only ask other professors to teach it, but, will they go? They just want to take Professor Yang Yu's course. The previous doubts about why Professor Yang Yu summoned the mini-dragon were completely dissipated all of a sudden, and he was even, a little ashamed. Next please. Yang Yu waved in the direction of the mini-dragon. After the fight, he could come and replenish his energy. Yang Yu paid the 10 candies that the mini-dragon had just earned in one lump sum. With 10 stars in a row, the mini-dragon swallowed them one by one. Down. Comfortable. Seeing the mini-dragon eating so sweetly, Lily Sakura subconsciously licked the corner of her mouth. I have to say that this action is indeed very tempting. However, at this time, everyone's eyes were not paying attention to Lily Sakura, so there was no one. Discover. Lily Sakura recalled the candy she accidentally ate, and even began to hesitate in her heart, should she eat the remaining candy herself? Otherwise, wouldn't it be left to the elves? After all, that candy is so fragrant. Beihuing was worried, fearing that the money she brought would not be enough. Although it was converted into Chinese elf coins, it would be worth a few 100 million, but, such a candy with magical effects must be very difficult to make, and the price must be very high. Very expensive, right? I have to ask the family to spend some more money. While Beihang secretly made a decision in her heart, Yang Yu's second test battle also began. However, the one sent to the scene was not a mini-dragon, but, Yang Yu's little dream demon. Everyone present is familiar with this elf. Whether you were originally at Yanjing Elf University or at another university during your college years, if you come here to study as a graduate student, you must have the experience of participating in national competitions. Last year, Professor Yang Yu participated in the forest team competition in the national competition. I don't know how many trainers were tortured by this dream monster. Although this dream monster has a smile on its face and the little tiger teeth at the corner of its mouth look cute, in fact, it is a big devil. The name Devil Calculator of the Big Devil is spread among the world, and this is not just words. Lao Cai, come on. Yang Yu glanced in Cai Xuanyi's direction and said calmly. Cai Xuanyi. Well, Professor Yang Yu, when did we become so familiar? However, this was the professor's order, so Cai Xuanyi naturally had no choice but to come to the battle site. Qiu Menqi has been carried down, and she may still be a little confused now. Is she a crow's mouth? How come the mini-dragon really masters 100,000 volts? Now that the dust has settled, Qiu Menqi can only watch the tests conducted by others. Needless to say, there is a tacit understanding between Yang Yu and the little dream demon. Just give the little dream demon a reward and buckle coins. With the reward here, the little dream demon feels that he has to put his arms around his waist and perform better. The mini-dragon can wear 6 at once, but can't the little dream monster do it? However, little Menyao's opponent this time, Cai Xuanyi, was third in last year's national competition. It is basically impossible to win 6. Cai Xuanyi's elf strength is very solid. At least in Yang Yu's impression, in this aspect, among the young trainers he knows, only senior brother Qian can beat him. Zhang Huiyu and Wang Kai's who are basically on par with Cai Xuanyi. A very strong, serious, and independent young trainer. When the secret realm of the Sky City in Sakura Kingdom came, Cai Xuanyi gave up the temptation to go to the secret realm of the Sky City after careful consideration and stayed here to train his elves. It can be said that it is very rare for young trainers to be so decisive and not blindly follow the trend. Let me try my newly evolved elf, let's go, Lucario. Cai Xuanyi looked quite calm. Since he stood on the field to face Professor Yang Yu, he just had to fight hard. If he wants to catch up with Professor Yang Yu at the current stage of study, Cai Xuanyi has already analyzed it when choosing courses. It is simply impossible for him. Since it's impossible, just relax and steadily improve the strength of your elf. The road ahead will be long. In the field, Lucario's figure is just like his steel attribute, very calm. At the same time, the fighting attribute makes Lucario more like a restrained fighter. The needles on the back of his hands and chest, faintly revealing a cold light that is not easy to offend. Lucario, it turns out that he has already evolved, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he evolves. In this way, the power of the wave guide will be more powerful and easier to sense and learn. Yang Yu's heart moved and his eyes moved. It has been falling on this Lucario. Lucario can feel the thoughts and emotions of people and elves through the power of wave guides. When choosing elf eggs for the national competition, Yang Yu felt the power of Ryalu's wave guides, which left a deep impression on him. It is precisely because of this that when Yang Yu thought about learning wave missiles, he immediately thought of Cai Swanyi, who took away the Ryalu elf egg. The little dream monster in the field lowered his head slightly, and his smiling eyes began to calm down. This battle is not that easy to fight. By the way, the little dream monster has to release Mimikyu and let it stand outside the venue obediently and cannot come to help. When the little dream demon took out an elf ball, everyone was shocked. When the little dream demon summoned an elf from the elf ball, the students in the audience were even more stunned by this operation show. Are there any elves with their own elves here? It's Mimikyu. Mimikyu is also rare among ghost-type elves. I remember the teacher in the characteristic analysis class clearly explained the characteristics of Mimikyu. The painting characteristics can withstand an attack from any move. Although it's incredible, but that's it. Professor Yang Yu still has such an elf. This lineup of elves is too luxurious. I want to know, is this Mimikyu really captured by the dream demon? This is too weird. At this time, the little incubus drew a circle for Mimikyu on the ground, and Mimikyu stood obediently in the circle the little incubus drew for it, motionless. Q. Next, the little dream monster is going to fight the elf battle. Mimikyu should be here to watch closely how the little dream monster shows off its power. Suddenly, there was an exclamation from the crowd. I remembered that during the national competition last year, when I was watching the arena match at the dojo near Jiaotong University in Shanghai, this dream demon came to the stage with an elf ball, and threw it out of the elf ball. It's Gyarados. When you said that, I also remembered it. I was at Jiaotong University for 4 years in college. There was a story about a Magikarp evolving into a Gyarados on the Jiaotong University campus. It was a big deal at the time. Anyway, I remember there were rumors that Gyarados the dragon seems to have been caught by a dream monster. Yes, that's it. It's Yang Yu's dream demon. At this moment, the students who were talking began to look at each other in confusion. How could the elves be compared to the elves? This made the elves so angry. Why didn't they have such a considerate elf as the dream demon? You can catch elves by yourself and become a trainer. Such elves are so awesome. Especially when the girls saw the little dream demon arranging Mimikyu there, they even drew a circle on the ground. It was like raising a child, telling the child to stand still and not run around. It was exactly the same. This is awesome. Madam, where is Madam? I want to read articles like this. Poppy. Come on, little dream demon sister. The little dream demon floated back into the field again. This time, it's real 1v1. Professor Xiao Yang is still very interesting. It is said that Lao Xia was shocked when he saw this mini dragon that had mastered jet flames, freezing light, and 100,000 volts. He said that what he couldn't do decades ago, someone can do it now. Here we are, it's incredible. Yes, fortunately, Professor Xiao Yang was invited by us. By then, all the universities in the Magic City will only come here to covet him. Ha ha ha, yes, this dream demon is also a great dream demon. This has been recorded on Metagross, but that is the Ghost intranet's own business. Mr. Jengar from the Ghost Tower, Hayes' favorite little apprentice, the most powerful and terrifying thing, is not fighting in reality, but in a dream. Being able to defeat Emperor Nebo, the leader of the Water Gym, from his dream, yes, is indeed terrifying. Through the Metagross in the venue, the scene of the arena suddenly appeared on a huge high-definition screen in the conference room. Everyone sitting here is a high-level trainer with a prominent position in the Elf Alliance. The battle has begun. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 776. This is a Lucario that has just evolved. The level of strength is comparable to that of Little Dream Demon, which belongs to the strength of high-level elves. However, according to some students who are familiar with Cai Soigny, this Lucario can be said to have cost Cai Soigny a lot of effort. The natural wave guide power should be a good talent for Riolu, but the wave guide power is a bit too strong. So powerful that Riolu can't control it. For this reason, Cai Soigny did not appear in the secret realm of Sky City. He had to stay here and help Riolu solve this problem. When Riolu evolved into Lucario, the problem of excess waveguide power was greatly alleviated. Of course, it was only alleviated, but it was still not completely solved. The best way to help Lucario control the power of the waveguide faster is to engage in high-intensity elf battles. In the first elf battle class of the school year, Cai Soigny sent out Lucario without hesitation. It was time for it to show off its strength. Lucario should have an advantage against Yang Yu's dream monster. All monsters and monsters have to reveal themselves in front of the power of the waveguide. But there was many Dragon Pearl Jade in front of him, and Cai Soigny had to use moves that shock Cai Soigny. Faced with the Dream Demon, who was also a high-level elf, Cai Soigny was very vigilant. Lucario was extremely calm in the field, and the information fed back through the power of the waveguide showed that the dream monster in front of him was basically unable to hide from it. Yang Yu is well aware of the power of waveguides. Shadow clones and high-speed movement are all delusions for Lucario. With the power of the waveguide, he can see through the little dream monster's true form at a glance, so this battle. Even the little dream monster's talent for creating illusions has no effect, and is naturally restrained by the power of the waveguide. Who hasn't encountered several powerful opponents along the way? As strong as the Salted Fish King and Dudu, they all faced huge threats from the giant tooth shark, the overlord of the ocean. Not to mention the battle earlier, when he went to the water gym to pick up Dede, the Salted Fish King and the Devil Coach Ziobai. Some opponents must be faced by Little Dream Demon on his own after all. Except for the Emperor Nebo, who was trapped in a dream, Lucario should be a very powerful opponent in the official battle between the Little Dream Monster and the elves. There is no doubt that this is also an elf with elite-level combat power, because when Riolu evolved into Lucario, he was born with a powerful fighting-type move, Wave Missile. Under the see-through effect of the power of the waveguide, even if it is a ghost-type elf, the ghost attribute can no longer help the Little Dream Demon to be immune to fighting-type moves. If it is hit, it will hurt. Little Dream Monster, Shadow Ball. Lucario's double attack ability is indeed excellent, but this also means that Lucario's weak double defense will become its weakness. Lucario, motivate yourself. Cai Soigny had expected that Yang Yu's Dream Demon would have the ability to cast Shadow Balls, but the formation of the Shadow Ball takes time. Powerful ghost elves can cast Shadow Balls instantly, but this is not realistic for the Dream Demon. Road. Lucario clenched his fists and threw them back heavily. The aura gradually increasing on his body. Under the effect of this self-motivation, Lucario's physical attack and special attack abilities increased by one level. A mysterious ball of dark light, like a deep black hole, the shadow ball condensed by the Little Dream Monster bombarded out in the direction of Lucario at this moment. Little Dream Demon, charging beam, follow me. It's unrealistic to start with just one shadow ball move and try to hit Lucario, who has the power of Wave Guide. After experiencing an unexpected battle with the mini dragon, the little dream demon has put a lot of effort into continuous combat, and this can not only improve the ability to continue combat, but more importantly, it can also extend the time for the Black Devil to transform. Using the Shadow Ball and Charging Beam continuously, the Little Dream monster performed with ease. The lightning on Little Dream Demon's fingertips has no chance to circuit Lucario's butt this time, because Lucario will not give his back to his opponent. Lucario, Wave Missile. Cai Swanye's voice also aroused the exclamation in the hearts of the classmates in the competition class and the surrounding students who came to watch the game. They were actually not unfamiliar with the name Cai Swanye. This Ryalu obtained during the national competition has successfully evolved into killed Lucario and mastered the Wave Missile at the same time, which put a kind of pressure on them. As for why I didn't compare with Yang Yu. Who dares to compare himself with Professor Yang Yu? This is no longer a question of pressure or not, this is not on the same level at all. Professor Yang Yu is unilaterally crushing him. Such a comparison is meaningless. At least at the elite trainer level, it makes them feel more realistic. Yeah. At this moment, Yang Yu was watching the battle blankly, and his big eyes suddenly opened a little wider, and his bright eyes fell on Lucario's wave of missiles. The power of the wave guide generated from the body, just like the shadow ball cast by the Little Dream monster, requires the concentration of power. The shadow ball requires the power of ghosts, and the wave missile requires the power of the wave guide. Because of this factor, the prerequisite for mastering wave missiles is to master the power of wave guides. This is a slightly bluish light beam, but when the power of the wave guide gradually condenses and becomes dazzling, the wave missile is like a dazzling white light. It can only be seen near Lucario's hand. Dots of light blue light. Road. Lucario's calm gaze at this moment showed a rare sense of joy. This effect of condensing the overly full wave guide power and blasting it out with the wave missile move made his whole body feel a sense of joy. Dripping. What a powerful wave missile. The shadow ball was directly crushed. Is Lucario so strong? Is this the elf egg reward from the national competition, or the egg hatching elf university with top elf egg resources? What do you think? The top 3 rewards in the national competition are certainly extraordinary. By the way, Professor Yang Yu's reward, I remember getting the Tijipai elf egg, wasn't it? However, it seems that Tijipai hasn't evolved yet. Didn't the mini dragon evolve? Professor Yang Yu's method of cultivating elves can be guessed by us. Let's continue watching the game. It seems, yes. Professor Yang Yu's elves are really incredible. The moment Yang Yu saw the Lucario wave missile, he realized that the Little Dream monster could not dodge this move. No matter where the Little Dream monster dodges, after being locked by the power of the wave guide, the wave missile will definitely hit. Charging beams and shadow balls are not enough to counter this wave missile. This Lucario's background is enough to have the ability to fight against elite elves, but now, Yang Yu still has a big move in his hand that he has not used yet. This is the big move. Yang Yu's pupils shrank. He seemed to have overlooked one thing. Seeing so many people gathered around here, including 30 students from my own class. Why are there so many people here? After Yang Yu's big move, before they could compete with the wave missiles, all the spectators were defeated and fell to the ground. These are all precious students from Yanjing Elf University and Qingjing Elf University. Yang Yu almost didn't need to direct that move. The Little Dream Demon had already begun to gather energy. It seemed that it had reached its peak and was about to pour out and use that big move. Everyone, cover your ears, cover your ears. Yang Yu used his loudest voice and hurriedly shouted around. Outside audience. Dear classmates in the battle class. What does it mean to ask us to cover our ears? The only 2 assistants, Hu Jing and Bai Hing, reacted immediately. Because the two of them found that Professor Yang Yu was the first to cover their ears. Although they didn't know why they did this, they just listened to Professor Yang Yu. Just when the other students were at a loss, a loud sound that made their scalps numb and caused goosebumps all over their bodies, exploded instantly from the venue. Dada immediately used his superpowers to help with sound insulation. However, the venue was too big, and there were too many spectators around it. More and more people came to join in the fun, even some people who didn't know the truth. Seeing the water around here, everyone rushed over. Ever since, these people came one after another to watch. Holy shit, shit, shit. Who is so incompetent, using a loud voice in such an occasion? No, 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 there is still noise. My ears are blind. No, my eyes are deaf. No, I'm going crazy. Why should I come here to join in the fun? The most powerful move that Little Dream Demon has mastered so far is the loud sound with noise effect. The two moves were used at the same time. At this moment, under the impact of the sound waves, the Little Dream Demon's hair once again fluctuated crazily like the burning will-o'-the-wisp. At this moment, the Little Dream Demon's open arms. It's like a witch who has released her magic seal. The loud sound and noise finally made the audience, who were a little confused for a moment, cover their ears in an instant. Chiumenki, who was the first to engage in an elf battle with Yang Yu, was still in a trance in her own thoughts. Where could she hear Yang Yu's words, "Hurry up and cover your ears"? The sudden loud sound and noise scared her so much that she jumped up on the spot. An earthquake! An earthquake! While Chiumenki covered her ears, tears burst out from her eyes so much that she looked so panicked that she was so weak, and so helpless. Fortunately, there were Metagross and Dudu here, plus Yang Yu's loud and timely notification, and because they were all young people, their responses were particularly quick, so the vast majority of people were not greatly affected. At this time, Mimiki was even swaying, spinning, and dancing in the circle where he was in a loud and noisy environment. To other people or other elves, the loud sounds and noises of the Little Dream Demon seemed to make them feel instantly transcended. It is an uncomfortable and terrible sound, but for Mimikyu, this is the sound of the fire of the soul that awakens it. Mimiki will never forget the words engraved in his soul. Do you also want to dance? This is Mimikyu's answer. Mimikyu, let's dance. The moment loud sounds and noises resounded throughout the arena, Lucario's wave missile was instantly blocked by the loud sound waves. Fortunately, I reacted quickly enough. Just as Yang Yu secretly breathed a sigh of relief, he was glad that he reacted quickly enough to notify Dede in time and take action quickly. It did not have a particularly bad impact on these precious students, and he was even a little complacent in his heart. But what he never expected was an important conference room on this same campus exploded. Quick, 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 Shizuan. 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 I can't do it anymore, I can't do it anymore, my head is buzzing. Yang Yu, what is he doing? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Shao. Chapter 777. It is true that the effects of moves such as loud sounds and noise are extremely unfriendly to the audience watching the game and the elves on the battlefield, and are particularly harmful to the ears, but Professor Yang Yu has already issued a warning in advance. Coupled with the combined super sound insulation of Slowking and Metagross, it will only be uncomfortable for those who hear it for a few seconds, and there is basically no big impact on the rest. But I have to deny it. They were shocked again. Shadow Ball and Charging Beam, these two moves are easy to understand. The Dream Demon itself is a ghost-type elf. It is much easier to learn the Shadow Ball than the Mini Dragon to master the Freezing Beam. As for the charging beam, the move is relatively less powerful. It's relatively easy once you get started. But this. Where's the loud noise? The scene on the battlefield between the elves and the elves is extremely incredible at this time. The loud sound waves were like circles of protective nets. When fighting against Lucario's wave missiles, they blocked this dazzling white light beam, in mid-air. Just like after a football enters the goal, it still has a strong impact. It wants to break through the net, but is firmly blocked by the net. Lucario continued to increase the guidance of the power of the waveguide, and the light blue waveguide light in his hand became even larger than before. Don't even think about it. The little dream demon has already lost to the mini dragon once, is it going to lose to Lucario again? Although this Lucario is the evolved form of Riolu, it has not evolved for a long time and is not proficient in controlling the power of the waveguide. The loud voice of the little dream monster is the loud voice that triggers the tide of ghosts to sing the soul dirge. It is the loud voice that rekindles the flexible fire of Mimikyu. This is the move that haunts the soul. Mimikyu is already dancing at this time, and the soul fire cannot be stopped. Even if it goes out, the loud sound will never go out. This sound calms the soul. It is hard to imagine that this is the performance of two high-level elves in an elf battle. It's as if space has stopped here. The wave missile seems to be blocked in front of the dream demon by an invisible force. This force is the power of sound waves. Is this still a high-level elf? Professor Yang Yu's dream demon is very strong, and Cai Xuanyi's Lucario is equally strong. I really don't know how they cultivated such elves. All of them are able to perform at a higher level than their own strength. The elves, although the elves can indeed exert 120% of their strength sometimes, this is too perverted. +1. When can I go to the egg-hatching elf university and get such an elf egg? While dreaming. This dream monster is so cool and sassy when it uses a loud voice. Isn't it? Facing Lucario's gradually increasing wave missiles, Little Dream Demon naturally increased the power of the loud noise. As early as the confrontation with the mini-dragon, Little Dream Demon realized his shortcomings. Now, the Little Dream Demon is already more powerful than then. When the ghostly aura of the Little Dream monster became more and more powerful in the venue, Lucario's waveguide power, something happened. This is a legacy issue from Riolu's time when the power of the waveguide was too strong and he was unable to control it. The wave missiles that Lucario had gathered at this moment were beyond the power of the waveguides that he could control. His hands and feet began to panic, and the light beams of the wave missiles began to become extremely chaotic. Have you not completely mastered the power of the waveguide yet? Yang Yu's heart moved slightly. This is very common in elf battles, and is also very common when training moves. After the power used by the elf exceeds its control, the moves it uses will become chaotic, and sometimes it may even hurt itself. At this time, the loud sound wave finally forced the wave missile back step by step. When the wave missile lost the support of the subsequent waveguide force, the loud sound wave finally attacked Lucario. Road. The chaotic waveguide power and the loud sound of the moves made Lucario, whose own defense ability was relatively weak, lose the ability to continue fighting. The moment Lucario fell, Mimikyu also stopped his dance, as if he had dropped the last sound beat. Continue, stand obediently, and wait until the little dream monster comes to check. Still a motionless Mimikyu. Did Lucario fail to hold on in the end? It's already very exciting. Such a battle is great to watch. Professor Yang Yu's Dream Demon is so powerful. Mini Dragon, Dream Monster, wow, I found out that I can't even defeat these two elves of Professor Yang Yu. What nonsense, are you telling the truth? The little Dream Demon breathed a sigh of relief at this time. Seeing his opponent's defeat, he felt very good in his heart. This spontaneous feeling, there were even deducted coins to earn. I just feel like it's so difficult to make a small amount of money like this. You have to pay more in the future. Lily Ying, Record this time I will make a separate training plan for Cai Soigne's Lucario to strengthen Lucario's adaptability to the power of the waveguide as soon as possible. Yang Yu could see clearly that the waveguide power of the follow-up wave missile had a power disorder, which eventually led to the Little Dream Monster's loud sound to directly defeat Lucario. Otherwise, with the resistance effect of the steel attribute, Lucario still has a chance. The ability to fight. This is a big deal. Just in time, Yang Yu can see if he can get the power of waveguides and wave missiles while helping Lucario train the power of waveguides, and at the same time, he can also feel Lucario's magical power of waveguides. This is something that kills several birds with one stone. In this way, Yang Yu needs to formulate a plan specially prepared for Lucario, even including Lucario's usual diet. I'm sorry, Professor Yang Yu, what you just said, I covered my ears and didn't pay attention and didn't hear much. Lily Ying apologized very embarrassedly, apologizing again and again. It's okay, Yang Yu didn't care. After all, he asked everyone to cover their ears, so Yang Yu repeated what he just said. Yeah, okay, Professor Yang Yu, I understand. The next battle with Cai Soigne's elves, the Little Dream Monster and the Mini-Dragon were unable to continue. Cai Soigne's elf strength is definitely among the top among elite trainers. Yang Yu made a rough comparison and found that he should be stronger than his assistant Hu Jing, but slightly weaker than Lily Ying. In the subsequent test with Cai Soigne, Yang Yu was left in a daze. The test needs to take into account all aspects, so it will definitely not work if the Salted Fish King and Xiao Baobao come. Once the Salted Fish King comes out, the opponents may be scared away. If Xiao Baobao, this is not abusing the food. Even if Xiao Baobao restrained his desire to abuse food at first, the overwhelming power brought about by his excessive self-confidence was beyond what Xiao Baobao could control if he wanted to. So, let's leave it to Damalai and Dada. It just satisfies these students who want to see the beautiful elves fighting. Only. The picture seemed a little different from what they imagined. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Great beauty, go first, go first, go first. Defend first, wait, I'm not asking you to give it a try. Yang Yu was too lazy to give orders. In any case, he had to give his opponent a chance to make 3 moves first. He had to test the student elf's strength and proficiency in the moves. As for after the 3 moves, just follow the great beauty and be happy. Dede carefully observed the fighting level of each elf, helped analyze the areas where these elf needed improvement, and felt the moves performed by these elf. This was also a way for Super Elf to improve their meditation level. However, it is strange that these students are more excited than the other. Seeing Minus's violent appearance, they can't wait to see the beauty directly push these trainers' elves. Unfortunately, those who want to compete with Yang Yu de Melee first need to defeat the Mini-Dragon and the Little Dream Demon. What is even more difficult for them to accept is the Mini-Dragon's physical recovery. It is normal for the Little Dream Monster to recover its physical strength, but it is different for the Mini-Dragon. Ming Ming played an elf battle not long ago and was almost exhausted. After eating a few candies, he immediately became energetic and lively. This made these elite trainers from Yanjing Elf University and Xingjing Elf University suddenly think of Yang Yu's electric charging Gyarados that caused a huge sensation in the Elf Alliance. Although the Mini-Dragon does not store electricity and does not eat grass, but after eating a few candies, it directly returns to its original fighting strength. What kind of candy is so awesome? Could it be Dolly Sugar Pill? What's even more painful is the reaction of the Mini-Dragon when faced with an Ice EV's Ice-type moves. He's using Freeze Beam, so he just doesn't fight back. What's even more outrageous is that he actually licks it. Icicles formed by freezing light. Do you think this is a popsicle? This is too much. The Little Dream Demon did not last long in such a high-intensity elf battle, but because of this, the Mini-Dragon came on the scene again and again, playing the elf battle tirelessly, which made the little dream demon's view of the mini-dragon change a lot. Only if you have experienced it yourself can you know how difficult it is to persevere like a mini-dragon. Because of this, the rewards Yang Yu gave to the mini-dragons became more and more generous, from the number of elves defeated at one time to the number of elves defeated cumulatively. At the back, Hu Jing and Lily Ying were dumbfounded. At present, Yang Yu has not disclosed the electromagnetic popping candies to these students. Although some students have noticed this, they have subconsciously regarded it as a more advanced energy cube and have not considered new elf resources. But, Yang Yu's assistants Hu Jing and Lily Ying already know the effect of this candy. Professor Yang Yu at least possesses a relatively large number of electromagnetic popping candies. Hu Jing and Bai Hang thought of this key at the same time. This is definitely an extremely huge elf resource. Elf resources only in the hands of Professor Yang Yu. For such a good thing, especially for trainers Hu Jing and Lily Sakurai who know its value well, no one will refuse. Work, I want to work, Hu Jing felt a little moved. Don't say that it's impossible to work part-time. At this time, when you should work, you still have to work. Work harder and earn more electromagnetic popping candy rewards. To make money, you must make money. Lily Sakura's ideas were equally straightforward and decisive. When she came to China and applied to become Professor Yang Yu's teaching assistant, she showed her amazing courage. At this time, money is no longer an important thing. What is important, is the elves that even money can't buy. Resource. Lily Sakura is ready to spend a lot of money to buy a batch of electromagnetic popping candies. Student elf quiz is still going on. Menus, hit, hit, hit. Use the water tail to whip away this rumble rock. So handsome, Minas, don't show mercy, just hum this guy. Chen Bingkaiu, I can finally see you defeated by someone else's move. Xiao Chen, come on, what are you beeping over there? Oh, by the way, I forgot that you are not a student in Professor Yang's class. I'm sorry, I can still have a fight with Minas, what about you? Chen Bingkaiu, just wait. When you are free, see you at the elf battle arena. Come on, who is afraid of whom? At this time, Chen Bingkaiu in the field asked his water arrow turtle to directly use 3 moves of Iron Wall to maximize his physical defense ability. Chen Bingkaiu, you are so shameless. Xiao Chen, shut up. Aren't the 3 moves against the Iron Wall also the 3 moves? In order to be able to withstand Minas' blow, Chen Bingkaiu also tried his best. I directly chose the most shrinking 3-move Iron Wall. Yang Yu couldn't help but shook his head. Isn't this a waste of opportunity? However, the water arrow turtle's foundation has basically been tested. It would be great to see how this physical defense capability is. Should I pick 2 lucky people to experience the thunder of Salted Fish King and the violence of Xiao Bao Bao? Forget it, it's not too late to experience it again during the midterm exam or final exam. The first class of school is still gentle. A little is better, Yang Yu thought for a moment and murmured to himself. What do you think? Yang Yu suddenly turned around and asked. Hu Jing, who heard Yang Yu talking next to Yang Yu, almost knelt down in front of Professor Yang Yu. Gentle. Just when Hu Jing's mind was in a mess, Bai Huing's answer made her feel speechless. Professor Yang Yu is the gentlest professor I have ever seen, Lily Ying replied respectfully. Yang Yu nodded, he felt the same way. What Lily Sakura said was actually the truth. Not summoning the Empire's destruction dragon was Professor Yang Yu's greatest kindness. If it were Professor Koik Tetsuya, in the first class, Professor Koik Tetsuya would definitely use his most powerful elf, to teach his students. At this moment, the azure water tail that struck the beautiful sky was illuminated with a layer of dazzling golden light for the first time in front of everyone. Dragon tail. The water arrow turtle that used Iron Wall 3 times flew out instantly. In the field, only Minas, whose tail is still shining with golden light, looks down at all living beings. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Shao. Chapter 778. Turtle. Can't the water arrow turtle with 3 iron walls be able to withstand Minus's dragon tail move? Minus turns out to be a physical attack type elf. So handsome, Minus is so handsome. Just asking, who else is there? Professor Yang Yu's Minus, I love it, the golden scales on the tail, woohoo, it's so beautiful. I really want to raise a Minus, but what if the ugly fish doesn't evolve? What about raising a variety monster? When you hugged me and found that the Minus you were holding turned into a puddle of purple plasticine, do you still want to raise a variety monster? Why not raise it, as long as it's Minus? Time passed much faster than imagined. These spectators just stood and watched 3 classes in the arena. They didn't feel tired at all. They were even still full of energy. They just watched Minus close in front of them. Even if they stood and watched for a whole day, they would not feel tired. Unfortunately, the damning bell has come. The end of get out of class bell should be a happy thing, but in the course of elf battle, it disgusted all the students and the audience. I don't want get out of class to end, Minus, don't leave me behind. Professor Yang, let go. What are you doing? How can you ride on Minus's back? Damn it! Dear students, today's class ends here. Everyone has successfully completed the test. Well, as an excellent professor, it is impossible to drag the class. It is impossible to drag the class in this life. What I hate most is the class. Something happened. By the way, my office is in the building where the elf battle is, office 403. If you have any questions, you can come to me. I'll go back to help you make a training plan for this semester. Goodbye everyone. In the field surrounded by a group of people, Yang Yu instantly sat on Da Mei's back, called Dada, took the children with him, and prepared to go home. Seeing the speed at which Yang Yu slipped away, all the students were stunned. Is this the professor who ran away the fastest after the bell rang in the whole school? Who the hell is a student? Why do they feel that Professor Yang Yu is looking forward to the end of get out of class bell more than they are? No, they are beginning to hate the end of get out of class bell now. The group of students left behind have many questions in their minds. Hu Jing, are we going back to? Lily Ying blinked her bright eyes and looked at the faraway figure. Professor Yang Yu's free and easy attitude was really enviable. Lily Sakura, who wants to go back with you? Don't you go back to Professor Yang Yu's office first? Lily Ying gently spread her hands. If you please, I'll leave first. I'm thinking about your Chinese Valentine's Day bluebird. Come out, Chinese Valentine's Day bluebird. Damn it, Lily Sakura, do you think your hairless chicken can attract my Tanabata bluebird? What a dream. Well, I don't know whose Chinese Valentine's Day bluebird was flapping its wings in front of our Xiaoqing when it came, and it was calling for a mate. Hu Jing sang, spring is here. Lily Ying spread her hands and faced Hu Jing. He raised his eyebrows and sighed softly, hey. Lily Sakura, stop. Hu Jing angrily called out her Chinese Valentine's Day bluebird, but her own Chinese Valentine's Day bluebird looked in the direction of the departing Chinese Valentine's Day bluebird under Lily's seat, and turned back to look at her master Hu Jing, with sadness written on her face. What are you doing standing still here? Hurry up and let me chase you. Hu Jing's Chinese Valentine's Day bluebird instantly lit up its feathers, and the sadness on its face disappeared, replaced by a look of excitement. Chase, chase, chase. Yang Yu received their teaching records from Hu Jing and Lily Ying. At the same time, he also received the elf strength estimation data of each student during the test from Metagross. The next step of making the teaching game can be left to Reggie Locke. The first class was generally considered perfect. Yang Yu also saw the strength of these graduate students at Yanjing Elf University. Whether it was trainer strength or other background strength, it was indeed not comparable to ordinary Elf University students. That one versatile monster alone gave Yang Yu a very unexpected surprise. In addition to Chiumenki's variety monster and Cai Swanyi's Lucario, there are also two dragon-type elves such as the double-axe battle dragon and the storm dragon, as well as relatively rare grass-type elves such as the monarch snake, lizard king, and blizzard king. Elves, etc., etc., in short, this is the foundation of the top elf universities. Although Hangcheng TV University is beginning to show signs of rising, based on this foundation, it is still incomparable with the top elf universities. It's really strange. Our professor didn't come to the first class. Instead, he asked the teaching assistant to come. This has never happened before. Didn't your professor of elf characteristics research come to class? What a coincidence, our professor of energy cube production and research didn't come to class either. Have you noticed that all the old professors who used to walk beside Wyoming Lake every day, are missing? It's strange, the principal hasn't shown up in the past few days. Although everyone here is very active in mobilizing for the national competition, it doesn't matter if we don't mobilize, but, where is the principal? Yang Yu also discovered this strange problem. Why can't I see any professor in the building I am in? When I came to this building on the first day, I could still see people coming and going. Why was there no one there the next day? Where are people? Where did you go? Yang Yu also wanted to get to know Professor He next door, an old professor from Yundian province who had great attainments in the training and cultivation of grass-type elves, but it seems like the office door has never been opened today. Hu Jing, do you recognize the professor next door? I wanted to pay him a visit. Why aren't you here today? Yang Yu asked curiously. I see a lot of people discussing among my graduate school classmates. It seems that many professors have some physical problems, so they need to take a break and ask the professor's teaching assistant or doctoral student to take over the class, and the professor may have just come back from Yundian. It may take a few days to get used to it here in Yanjing, Hu Jing replied. Yang Yu thought for a while and realized that he seemed to have added the principal's WeChat account. He was busy with the start of school recently, and Yang Yu was too embarrassed to bother him, but he still sent a message to Principal Luo's Heishan. It turned out that Yang Yu was going to pay a visit to the prestigious professors at Yanjing Elf University, each of whom was a national treasure-level trainer. Grandma Lin had given instructions before Yang Yu came to teach, hoping that Yang Yu could go and ask for more advice. Professors, Yang Yu naturally took Grandma Lin's advice to heart. But, where have all the professors gone? Professor Xiao Yang, let's wait for this matter for the time being. When the recent limelight has passed, it won't be too late to meet again, Principal Luo said with trembling hands as he opened the voice call. The limelight, what kind of limelight? Yang Yu wondered. Why does Principal Luo's voice feel a little shaky? Is the signal not very good? Professor Xiao Yang, in yesterday afternoon's class, you almost killed all the professors in our conference room. Yang Yu. Yang Yu stared blankly at the message on his phone. What does this mean? Yang Yu did something he didn't know about again? In your first class, most of our professors who had no classes on hand, including me and a vice principal, were in the conference room watching your elf battle teaching live broadcast, which was relayed to the conference room through Metagross. Of. Yang Yu's eyelids couldn't help but twitch. At this moment, he had an unknown premonition. At this time, Hu Jing and Lily Ying, who were sorting out information in the office, both stopped what they were doing, and their eyes seemed to be glazed over. The mini dragon and dream demon in the front, as well as Minas and Slow King in the back, these are all very good, that's the loud voice of the dream demon. There are probably dozens of people in our conference room. Well, they are all professors who are very interested in your courses and your elf teaching. Well, the loud noise is really a bit loud. Professor Xiao Yang, can you imagine that scene? Principal Luo's tone seemed to be full of sadness that had nowhere to put it. Although it requires great courage for Yang Yu to come to Yanjing Elf University to teach, on this point, there is no doubt that Principal Luo is absolutely courageous. However, not all professors recognize Yang Yu's teaching ability. It is undeniable that Yang Yu is indeed very strong, but this is a classroom, a place where graduate students are taught. Yang Yu's teaching ability needs to be tested. The first class of school is the best opportunity. It was not only a test by Yang Yu on the elf level of his students, but also a test by the old professors on the teaching level of the young Professor Yang in the classroom. Principal Luo, why didn't you inform me in advance before class? I didn't know you would come to class. Yang Yu felt a little scared. Could it be the loud noises and noises of the little dream monster that disturbed the old man? Are the professors confused? Professor Xiao Yang, aren't you afraid that you will be too stressed in the first class? I didn't notify you in advance, just because I want you to freely show your teaching ability. Principal Luo felt a little regretful. Why didn't you notify me in advance? Hey, my ears, why are they still ringing? Then, Principal, are the professors okay now? Yang Yu asked weakly. The school year has just started, and many people have asked for leave. My ears are ringing all the time. Professor Xiao Yang, do you understand what I mean? Principal Luo said quietly. The little dream demon's laughing voice almost scared Principal Luo into throwing away the phone in his hand. Damn it! Yang Yu. Hu Jing. Lily Sakura. It turns out that professors took leave collectively, for this reason. I'll give each of you 2 candies, and no one is allowed to tell anyone. After hanging up the voice call, Yang Yu looked in the direction of the 2 assistant teachers viciously and said. Hu Jing and Lily Ying nodded repeatedly.